how desperate our community is. And so this conversation is very important. And so we started that drive to get more black young adults 17 to 35 in the registry. We've managed to get about over 650 since we started, but that's not nearly enough. It's not nearly enough. And so a year to today, we were in this very same hall. This is going to be very difficult, and I want you to be really open and hear from Cheston. A year ago, we were in this hall trying to find a donor for his wife's son. And I'll now hand the mic over to Cheston, and you can share as much as you want, Cheston, to show how desperate we are for more donors in this community.
Thank you, Dorothy. Good evening, all. My name is Cheston. As Dorothy was saying, a year ago we were sitting in this hall. Also, a year ago for me, my wife was actually in Princess Margaret Hospital going through chemotherapy to get a stem cell transplant. It was a difficult one because she's been battling this disease for over 5 years. And up till this day, she hasn't got a donor that actually will match her stem cells. That being said, she was a fighter. And I remember the day that we actually met with Dorothy. I was actually reading the Shares newspaper, and I came across an article which they had a donor drive, and I made contact. I think that was about 6 years ago. And up till this day, I will continue to support Donor Drive for Dorothy because they've been doing wonderful things in the community to help also the ethnic community and also other communities also too. But back to my wife again. She was in the hospital going through her chemo, and while we're here doing the event, she was still inquiring how things are going. Again, for me last year, although we had a good turnout, there always seems there was some disappointment because they tried to spread the word through social media, through their friends and everything, but the time when they need to come out, they're never here. So we can't stop. We gotta continue to get everybody, whenever we have donor drives, to come out. And the age group that the donor drive is looking for is age 17 to 35. And I guess Dorothy can tell you more about why that age group is. But again, my wife's son, she was a fighter. When I said she was a fighter, up till the last minute before she passed, she was still fighting. I remember she looked at me and she said, I'm not gonna die. And even when the doctors came and gave me the diagnosis, she said, she's not gonna make it. I said, Doc, this lady is a fighter, she's gonna push you. And it's basically, this month is basically 6 months. She's missed. This week has been really difficult for me, personally, because of the event leading up and some of the personal stuff that I have to do. But I encourage everybody, spread the word. Donate, because you never know whose life you may save. I remember at one particular time also too, there was a match, and when we were ready for the transplant, match wasn't available. So again, when you donate, you have to be committed, because you never know when you'll get that call. Thank you.
Thank you, Chester. And the difference here is that we don't want to have another Chester sitting here next year sharing this kind of story. We want a Tom and a Dorothy sitting here talking about the successes of their transplant. And that's why this conversation is as difficult as it is, needs to happen. Because we have to rally together our 70 to 35 adult kids, wherever they might be, to get involved, to become donors, to become successful donors or potential donors. The story is told by, once we were out doing one of our, because we do a lot of swab events across the GTA, And the story is told of this young man. So one match, they target the university campuses and college campuses. And there was a young man, they happened to be on the campus, and he donated. He's there, he donated, it's the right thing he wanted to do. A year later, his sister was diagnosed with leukemia. He was not a match for his sister. He was the only sibling, and he wasn't a match. But fortunately, as it turns out, someone else was a match for his sister. So here was a full circle where he decided to donate, and someone else had donated, and so his sister was able to find a compatible donor. And that's what we talk about. That's why this is so important. We have no clue what's going to happen 2 years down the road, or who is going to be in need. So I just want to implore you, but before I do that, I want Tom to tell you about his story, because his community are also in desperate need, but certainly not as underserved as we are. So Tom, tell us about your story.
Thanks, Gerdine. Let's see, I was diagnosed back in August 2014, and it's been close to 1,000 days now since I've had my transplant, and that's through by God's grace. And the servants who have put their efforts into the research that I've got us to this point working on. So I wanted to give back by raising awareness, as Dorothy has. So I've gone up to universities as well, and high schools, and my background was in advertising, so I shot commercials to get people of different backgrounds together to donate, to get swabbed. So commercials played all over the country as well, and downtown Toronto. And although we talk about the mixed communities, and I reach out to the Chinese community and various communities within the universities, I found out 6 months ago that my donor, the chance of my donor being Chinese and male was what it should have been. But this story is going to tell you that it doesn't matter what background you're from, God says we're all one. And my donor happened to be a 32-year-old German lady. And I just want to speak up about it. So that's my story.
Thank you, Tom. A German saving the life of a Chinese Canadian. And that's the power of one. One. It only takes one person to do something. I think Cher talked about action. That's what we need right now. We heard, we don't want the, I'm sorry, we should have, let's do something so that we eliminate the sorrow and the shoulds and the coulds. Let's do something that those of us who are here right now can leave tonight saying, you know what, let me ask you a question. How many of you in this room know people are 17 to 35, men and women? Let me see your hands. 17 to 35. So it looks like we all know adults, young adults, 17 to 35. How many of you will tell them our mission about saving lives? And there's no pressure here, because we want some commitments, because we can always talk, but until we act, then therein lies the difference. Marcia, who is the host along with Delroy, thank you for my memory, they have gone through tragedy. We don't need more of that. If there's anything in our power that we can do. So we want to move to another level of action. I want people to come on board, whether you support the Gerdine Foundation, whether you support Tom, whether you support Donor Drive for Dorothy, the Leukemia Society, we don't care. as you are on board with us. So my question now, I'm going to throw it out, because when we go to all these festivals, we get a lot of questions. People are mystified as to why should I donate, and what are you hearing out in the community? Is there a reason? Are you hearing of resistance to the cause? Or are you aware, if you were here, would you have known that there's this dire need in our community for new black donors, new ethnic donors in the Walnut Registry? Let me see a show of hands. Prior to today, how many of you understood the dire straits our community was in with needing new registrants in Walnut? You didn't know. How many of you knew? Let me see your hands. Cindy. Good. So you would have been close, maybe close to the cause. If you were close to the cause, maybe you wouldn't have known. So I want to open this up to, you can ask us any questions. Let us demystify what it means to be a donor. Let's demystify what is blood as much as we can, because we're not medical professionals here. We are patients, we have gone through it. Cheston has sat by his wife. He understands the other side of that pain. We understand the other side of the pain. But to you, the community, let's have a discussion. Why do you think we are so unaware of this important need for new donors in the registry? Do you have questions? Is there something we can demystify, we can debunk at this point? We'll be happy to do that. So we're going to open up right now. It's a town hall. We want to hear, we want to talk about it. We're going to open up the floor. Tanya has the mic and she'll come to you. What questions do you have? What do you want to know?